Okay, done.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Rugrats podcast, everyone. Today's episode 36. Right?
So it doesn't really matter, but the episode is we have
Doesn't matter. We've lost count.
we have
It's episode 69, 420.
yeah. Let's
Whatever you
go.
want.
Let's go. We have Connor. It's Connor Sinet, right?
Yep.
Connor Sinet and Charlie Lations, brothers from our town, and we're ready to have a very good episode.
Yeah, I know.
Thank y'all for having us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks for
yeah,
coming on.
of course. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so Connor, you wanna kind of dive into
Intro?
Yeah, intro yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I am a Manchester Essex Regional High School class of 2016 graduate.
He's an alum.
So,
He's
yeah,
He
I'm
is
Not
sure.
2016.
Man,
2016 is crazy. That was prime time, Loki.
It was not. So it was funny. I was actually talking to a bunch of the teachers. I was talking to Miss Coleman, Fortunato, BH, like I had all of them. And they were saying that your grade in 2016 are like some of their favorite grades they've ever
Really?
had. Yeah, just
Fuck
in
yeah.
terms of like quality of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also just like
Yeah.
sense of community
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
what each grade is doing. Like y'all have this
Yeah.
podcast and like
Yeah.
it's very unified in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I came back for, the young blood's
Hey,
graduation.
Hey, Charlie.
So yeah, I came back from LA for the weekend, see this man graduate, chop up with my boys who
Yeah,
I've been
dude.
following since day one.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No, for
Yeah.
real though. You've been like our top follower.
Yeah, I'm always commenting on shit like real shit,
What do you do in LA?
In LA, so I sell art primarily. So I was at a gallery for 2.5 years. We parted ways about a month ago.
Oh damn! What happened?
So I'll keep it PG. No slander against them at all. Just kind of I was starting like a side gallery in a way where I had a bunch of close artist friends who I wanted to promote. They saw that as like somewhat of a conflict of interest. I didn't agree, but they were like, "Yeah, this is kind of just what we want to do," and I was like, "Makes sense, fair enough." So we parted ways, but I'm starting to build it out even more now
That's good.
with my free time and like
No, that's awesome.
just bringing
That's sick
cool
as fuck,
clients
though.
in. Yeah, man, it's
Yeah.
been really cool.
So
'Cause,
you're,
like,
so you're an entrepreneur.
yeah,
Basically.
essentially,
That's
yeah.
sick, dude.
It's been really cool because I mean, when I moved out there, October of 2020, I was like, I had photography and music production in mind, and I started working real estate photography, which was cool, but like, was hella driving, didn't pay me enough, and then I started painting just because I fell in love with like the street art scene, and because of that, I was like, okay, I want to work in a gallery to like understand the business side of it,
Yeah.
like how to sell my own art when I feel like I'm good enough to sell it.
Yeah.
And I came into that like 4 months later, found a gallery assistant position on LinkedIn, and it was really seamless. Like I applied a Monday night
Yeah.
and then started working that Friday.
Wow,
It
that's
was
sick.
like they
Wow.
phone interviewed me Tuesday, went in person on Wednesday, and they were like, yeah, we just kind of wanted to vibe check you. Like the phone call was cool. Like, when can you start? And I was like, Friday. So I was supposed to only work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, hourly. And then one of my bosses called me that Tuesday and was like, what do you do when you're not here? And I was like, I tutor some kids sometimes, but like nothing crazy. I can work full time. And she was like, yeah, just come in tomorrow. I was like,
Sick.
all right, cool.
Dude, that's sick as shit.
I think it's
Yeah.
awesome because
It was super fun.
it's in your passion, art. You said.
Yeah.
You're also learning how to sell, which is probably the number one skill in all of business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think like in any sort of field, you should understand how to sell like yourself and your skills,
Yeah.
bottom line.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me become a good salesman was like, I loved the idea of helping people put art in their homes. So it was just like service to me. I didn't even really think about being of good service because it was so natural. I was like, I want to help people get these things. Like it's fun for me to like
Yeah.
help curate, help them feel good about what they're buying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's awesome when
Full
you
circle.
don't have to lie about what you're selling.
yeah, exactly. And like, most of my clientele, it was interesting because like the range of pieces, we had stuff that started at like a $300 print all the way up to like a $200,000 sculpture.
Holy shit! What is
It's a really crazy range.
what is a what goes into a $200,000 sculpture? Is it like
Which artist are you talking about for 200K?
So this artist named Brendan Murphy, he's put sculptures all around the world. Yeah, his most recent one was a 23-foot astronaut sculpture in the Oslo, Norway city center.
Oh shit! So he's like super legit.
Yeah, he's super legit. He has one at the Astros Park at Minute Maid Park in Houston,
Man,
and
that's tough.
he made a custom sculpture for Rafael Nadal
I don't know
Like-
who
Oh,
that
that's
is.
sick.
The
Oh, no,
tennis
yeah,
player.
tennis player.
Yeah, he's just like really tapped in the sports worlds because before he became an artist, he worked on Wall Street and played professional basketball in Europe
Holy
in like
shit,
his late
that's
20s.
sick.
Yeah,
That's
he's
insane.
very well rounded.
And now he's in art.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, exactly. So
What
he's
the
just been
fuck?
pushing the envelope in everything he does.
Wow.
So he has the sculpture we have from him that's 215K is like a 10-foot, like 90% carbon fiber, 10% like resin and fiberglass with like this really cool like matte black finish. And then he'll do this like graffiti on the top of it.
That's sick.
It's cool.
Is it like a car themed thing or something?
Nah,
Yeah.
it's just like so he has this astronaut character named Boonji
Yeah.
that he's like pushed in a bunch of different ways. He did an NFT project with it
Oh, shit.
in
Oh, yeah,
2021.
that's right up your alley, man.
Yeah.
Matt
Big
Black
NFT
and
guy.
NFTs.
Yeah, it's like he hasn't really pushed the NFTs that far, but like his primary sale was like one of the most successful primary sales ever
Yeah.
because he caught it at the right time and like had a bunch of people that really, you know,
Yeah.
vibed with the whole vision.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. No.
Nah, right, he hit it right. But granted, like that's the whole thing with the art world is like artists catch their prime or like they really catch their stride between like 40 and 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
not a young art is not like
For
a
young-
young artist's
Young
game.
legit.
Yeah, like you know, some people catch with social media. I think it's changing. Like in your 20s, you can really start hitting your stride and like have a body of work for years, and people will recognize it and put you in a gallery. But like traditionally, it's like when around 40 is when you start.
I think that makes sense
Getting
because
caught.
we're making art. It's kind of based off your experiences and like
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, basically kind of your life
Yeah,
experience.
your life.
Too.
And if
Yeah,
you're younger, you're gonna have
absolutely.
less stuff to make art about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and less things that really strike you emotionally.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you won't have experienced anything that's super like emotionally taxing or anything crazy.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's
And
not
it's like
enough.
by the time you're 40, maybe you have like 5 different collections of like pieces that you've made based on like, okay, this is what happened from like 25 to 28. This is what happened from like 29 to 32. And like your style changes based on what happens in your life type of thing. And like
Yeah.
when people can see more of that work together, they're like, oh shit, now I've really seen this person's evolution and their work is just more valuable.
Oh,
That's sick.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
really
a good
crazy.
example of that. I watched a YouTube video on it the other day. What's the guy? He's Spanish. His last name is Goya.
Yes.
Yes.
So he
Yeah,
has like
yeah.
the dark paintings. I think he did it on his walls. He's like, I think he was schizophrenic or something. Like going with like crazy depression. Like he painted like a big mural of Saturn, who's like some giant like titan, like devouring
Yes.
his kid.
Yeah.
And it's like a super like terrifying image, but like it's super deep and really encapsulated like how he was feeling in the moment. So I think that's like a great example of like how like probably throughout his life it wasn't that extreme, and when he really started going through a bunch of crazy emotional like turmoil and crazy stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he personified that with his art.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it can just take one moment, like at any given age, but especially when you're older, when there's a lot of reflection to be had about like the past X amount of years, and
Right.
one moment changes. It's like you can make like the most poignant piece you've ever made at like 60. You know, like
Right.
that's the whole thing with like fine art and masters is like these artists a lot of times don't even get their flowers until way after they're dead.
Right.
Same type of thing with music. Like when an artist dies, their streams go up like 3x. You know,
Yeah.
Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty
Oh,
crazy.
So how did you get into art? Like actually, if you remember that?
Yeah, I do pretty vividly. Like I went through a breakup March of 2021. So like when I moved out to LA, I was still dating my ex. She was finishing school at Maryland. That's where we met. And we kind of knew when I was moving out there that like she wanted to live in New York when she was done school,
Yeah.
and I wanted to live in LA. And like we were just gonna date until, you know, something
Yeah.
something gave. And so yeah, it was like I'd been out in LA for 4 months. She was at home in Jersey, like COVID winter, like wasn't really meeting anyone, still looking for jobs, and like I was in LA just meeting a ton of people, and it just kind of felt like a natural time to split. Like we're both really young, we might as well have these times to like be independent, because I don't know when I'm gonna move to New York, and
Yeah.
she didn't want to move to LA. So like even though I initiated that, like it was really hard for me because we
Oh,
had a
of course,
great
yeah.
3-year relationship, and I was like, damn, was that the right move? You know, so I was painting a lot for her and a lot just about her.
Yeah.
And I think that like series of paintings was like, damn, I really love this
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
art form, and I want to get into learning how to sell it and then I just found Art Angels, which is the gallery I was at for a few years.
Fuck
And
that, no.
no comment. But yeah, that's how I got into it, and I just fell in love with the art of selling too, because I met some really cool and receptive clients who, you know, from all walks of life. Like one of my clients is, his name's Lang Lang, like really famous Chinese
This is the
pianist.
piano, right?
Yeah. And then one of my clients is like the co-founder of Hexclad Cookware, who's like, you know, they're sponsored by Gordon Ramsay.
So it's like
and-
crazy networking opportunities. at this
yeah,
gallery.
super crazy. And both of those guys just walked into the gallery on a random Tuesday.
Those aren't even like 1% of the craziest people you told me you've met.
I met
'Cause
Austin
you-
Rivers.
No, like, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he
he
will
just
text
walked
me.
in, and I was like, "This dude looks so familiar." And I like, you know, I'm not gonna like pull up on him and be like, "Austin, I'm your biggest fan," necessarily, because like he's just
Because you're not.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, that-
He would have appreciated that
Yeah.
too, but then like, he was like, "I'm Austin," and I was like, "I'm Connor. Nice to meet you." And then he wrote his full name, and I was like, "That
shit.
makes a lot of sense."
No,
Yeah.
but like you will text me, or you would text me like completely out of nowhere, just like, oh, I just met such and such. Like I remember at one point you texted me, I forget when it was. It was like a weekday morning. It was literally like, for me, it was like probably like 1:00 p.m. on like a Thursday. And I just checked my phone and I see I just sold $180,000 worth of art to Dr. Phil's wife, and I was just like,
Oh yeah,
I was just
I'll-
like,
I'll
cool.
cr-
what do you want me to do with that? Like,
yeah. I just wanted to let
Well,
you
no,
know.
but
one,
that's tough
it
as
was
fuck.
sick.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was fire.
I'll correct the figure. It was 66,000. Technically, she's not my client. She's a regular client of one of my bosses,
Okay.
but she just popped in, and I like recognized her after a little bit, and she was just like walking around the gallery, like literally pointing at things and being like, "Yeah, I'll take that.
Damn.
I'll take that." And
That's
that-
wealth.
Fuck.
That is
so
wealth.
fun.
It was
oh
crazy.
my
Holy
god.
shit.
And
Oh,
she-
I wish. Holy
she has
shit.
these, so we have these sculptures from this artist named Richard Orlinsky, who does these like wild like King Kong sculptures, and we had a small set of like 5 like chromatic ones, and she like comes over, one in each hand, like a green one and a blue one, and she's like, "Which one would be better for a 10-year-old?" I'm like,
Bro.
I like the green one more," and she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll take that." And
How
put
much were those sculptures?
5 bands each.
Okay.
Oh my
Fuck.
god.
5 bands.
I'm not giving that to a 10-year-old.
Yes, honestly.
I'm not.
And then she bought the heaviest piece we had in the gallery at the time. It was like this infinity mirror where you like look into it. It's like a neon phrase, but then like it's mirrored in the back, so
Oh,
it
it,
goes
like,
on
shows
Oh,
up.
so-
forever.
yeah.
That piece, I was the only one in the gallery, and luckily, as she's buying these, like one of our couriers comes in who like delivers pieces for us, and she was like, "Yeah, I want that one in the window too." And she was like, "You can just load it all in the back of my range." And so she was bringing all of those, so those were going to her house, and then the pieces for her grandson were like, she was flying private to Dallas that
Whoa.
day
course.
to like bring that to him for his
Bro,
birthday.
if I had 10-year-old
Well, how
kid,
rich
a-
is Dr.
a 10-year-old
Phil?
Oh,
kid
he's
is-
9 figures.
Did ass?
Really?
Yeah, Dr. Phil
Dr.
is
Phil's
well off.
Loaded.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
his
yeah.
brother like that.
I
Yeah,
know,
well, I
dude.
mean, he's had that show for like, I think
Forever,
24
bro.
years now.
He
Since
probably
like
was.
2000.
He was probably doing stuff before it too. Like,
Probably, yeah. I
is
mean,
he an
he's-
actual doctor?
I don't think so.
I
Like,
don't
is he
know.
PhD
Hey,
in
hey, the
something?
show says it, so nah. I don't-
Philip.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
Is he
don't,
just
I don't think a 10-year-old can even appreciate.
No.
No.
If you hand a 10-year-old something and you're
He's a
like, "This
toy.
is $5,000," he's gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Ah," and then just like slammed into the wall. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like their concept of money is pretty
Skewed.
non-existent. So like for them, that's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a sweet gesture for their grandson, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Like,
More power to them. But
Would you rather have like $100,000 or a Renegade Raider? Have you guys seen that meme?
no.
No, that was like 2 years ago.
Fortnite.
I'm not tapped in like that,
Bro.
bro. I'm not.
Damn, I was a big
And
gamer.
a little kid, like, the little kid chose the
Valid.
Fortnite skin over $100,000.
Real. That's real.
That Fortnite skin might be worth more than $100,000.
See that? See, that's love.
So I know Charlie. He listens to, for music-wise, at least more like experimental and like.
I listen to a lot of stuff.
But I remember back in the day, it was like Tyler the Creator, MF Doom,
Yes.
all that type of music,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is closer to art and more like more personal to those artists.
I like
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
take,
Do you like that
closer
type of
to
music
art.
as well?
That's like my
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's like my older brother James. He like really like studies music and stuff like that. Like
Bro, he does it
weird.
all.
No, Loki. No, he really does. He loves just like the lyrical art of it and like how the words flow. I guess. I mean, I don't really see it. I just listen to like drill rap or whatever. But
Nah, drill's
There's
hella
art to
fun.
that.
Drill's hella fun. Yeah, I think I've definitely like I appreciate Tyler and MF Doom
Yeah.
and rappers like that. Like I love a lot of rap. I would say my main genres are R&B, rap, and then like jazz. Like I like a lot of bossa nova and stuff, which is
Yeah.
Brazilian jazz.
Oh, that's tough.
A-Train would like that.
Adrian was like that.
Hell yeah. I'll tap in with A-Train about that. But yeah, so I've started making music.
Yeah.
So
I knew that. We posted it.
yeah,
We
yeah.
did the album.
The EP came out. I have a single coming out on June 17th
Let's
that I'm gonna
go.
post about today.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm
First look.
excited for it. It's been
Yo, everyone stream that single and it's out.
Yeah,
Stream
yeah.
Hesh on Spotify.
I'll post Hesh Pierre on Spotify.
June 17th.
June 17th. Yeah, I'll put the pre-save up today.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
We'll,
But
we'll link you in the YouTube video. Too.
appreciate
totally,
you. Thank
totally.
you. But yeah, I think since like wanting to make music and learning how to sing over the past couple of years, I've gravitated towards artists that like just their runs are really unique, like the melodies they make, and it's not always about what they're saying to me. Like I used to be really lyrically focused, and I think I've shifted more into like what yeah,
Sonically.
what sonically, what is this like? How do they make their words sound like that? Because
Yeah.
like, you know, sometimes you're like, damn, I didn't even realize you could like say a specific word like that
I understand
and
that.
like run it into a
I see
a
that in rap
line.
all the time when they can make words rhyme and the words don't sound the
Yeah.
same at
Yeah,
all.
like super
usually.
slant rhyme.
Like T-Pain with
Yeah.
getting a mansion in Wisconsin. Just
Oh yeah, yeah, innovators like that.
the greatest
For-
songwriter of our
For
time,
sure.
T-Pain.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
but yeah, no, I love. I'm the same as Charlie. I like music in
Yeah.
a whole lot of ways. Like I'm definitely in my more like. I'll have my conscious rap phases, my drill rap for sure.
Yeah.
Like new Chief Keef album is fire. Almighty So 2 went crazy. And yeah, a lot of like R&B singers I idolize, like Miguel, Lloyd, Brent Faiyaz, Che Crew. Che Crew is one if y'all don't know him.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
I'll
put me
send
on.
you some
I
shit
bet.
by him. Yeah, he's honestly like kind of an architect of R&B like behind the scenes because he's worked with this one producer who works with a lot of big R&B artists. Like y'all probably know the song No Guidance by Chris Brown and Drake.
Yeah.
So
Oh yes,
that's
100%.
that little sample at
His
the
brother loves Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Chris Brown is fire.
Really?
Like everything
That was-
aside, he's
our,
nice.
our
Our
senior,
class song was
our
Forever?
class song
by
was
Yeah.
Chris Brown.
Their class song was Forever.
I
was
just
so
like
hilarious.
hyped. I was so
I
hyped.
think it worked out really well.
It's
too.
really good.
It
Yeah, it's
did.
really
It
good.
was a good send off.
I mean,
I don't think
compared
it fit with baccalaureate all that
No,
well, but it
not
fit with
at all.
graduation
No.
perfectly.
Yeah.
yeah, nah, grad just had that energy for
Definitely.
sure. But yeah, so that little sample at the beginning of No Guidance, where it like sounds like that really high pitched voice, is actually a Che Crew song that the producer sampled to like put into that song.
That's tough.
So yeah, he's been behind the scenes for a minute. Really fun.
There's another rapper I was introduced to recently. I don't listen to him all that much, but it's not ASAP Rocky. It's Aesop Rock.
Yes.
Oh, Aesop Rock.
You've
yeah.
heard about that guy?
He's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely very like lyrical and intent with what
Yes,
he's saying.
he's
He's
the
dope.
largest vocabulary of any rapper on the
Mhm.
entire planet.
Really? What,
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
you say like fucking, I don't know.
Bro, his,
I don't even know. I don't even know.
his rhymes are crazy, bro.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
That means he must have beaten Doom, because I remember a few years ago I saw a graph that said like Doom had like 950 unique words or something.
Something more than that. No, it's like 5,000 something.
Oh, word, I'm way
Yeah. No, MF Doom and Aesop Rock are definitely.
They're probably the
Bro,
top
I don't
two.
think it was him. I only just discovered him like,
Him.
like a week ago. And,
Oh,
like,
that's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, he is him.
He's the G.
He is him.
what was it? There was I think it was a song that I don't know if he was on it. Or whatever, it's whatever. I'll go on a tangent.
Nah, go on the
No,
tangent.
I
That's-
don't know enough about it to like explain what I'm thinking of right now.
Word.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the album looked like? I guess they all have.
No, I
that
have no
villain
idea what the
face.
song is called. My friend Patrick showed me in the car, and I listened to it like 5 times in a row, and I just can't remember.
Dude, I
it
do
right
that with
now.
every
Is it
single
called
song.
Doomsday?
Yes.
Doomsday is his classic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Best album.
The Sade sample.
So Charlie, what are you planning on doing after high school since you just graduated?
So I'm basically nothing like Connor. I am
Except
going.
Except he's coming to
we're
the same
both
school as
going to the
me.
same school.
Yeah.
We're both 6'4". We both ran.
Both super handsome.
Oh,
Both fine as hell. No, I'm going to the University of Maryland just like he did. I'm studying aerospace engineering.
Hey.
Dang.
But I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'm also considering doing crew the way he did, but we'll see.
rowing? Hell
You
yeah.
did- you did crew?
Connor,
Yeah.
he
Alright,
was.
you're gonna have
was-
to talk about that after.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. For sure, I'll let him.
Man, I don't really know what else to say. I mean,
what made you start wanting to major into aerospace engineering? Like, it's literally rocket science. You're going to be a rocket scientist.
That's big dog business.
so I think what got me into engineering was probably just being around. So a lot of the people in my family, like my dad and my godfather, my uncle Rick, have been around engineering. Like my godfather, like all three of them have worked at various MIT labs at points in time. And so just like being around them and like hearing them talk was just fascinating when I was little. And so I was just like, I would hear them say something and I was like, oh, I want to know like what that means, how that works. And so that kind of just like spiraled and built and snowballed into like actually being into engineering, and specifically aerospace. I just like
the space.
I feel like I've always just been fascinated by like flight and just like I just think it's cool.
I can attest to that.
I'm working
He's
on.
been a big aviation head since I can remember.
I'm thinking about, or I'm in like starting the process of getting a private pilot's license, but
Really?
that's not cheap. So I'm gonna see how that works out. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's just kind of how I got to where I am. Yeah.
Do you like this like outer space at all? Like, is that
Honestly,
does that
not
interest
really. I'm
you?
kind of just into like
Planes
on
and
Earth.
shit?
Yeah. Planes and shit.
Space on Earth.
That was actually what I filled out on my college app for the major. I just wrote
Planes
planes
and
and
shit.
shit, and they auto-filled aerospace engineering.
They were like, damn real.
They were like,
Oh my
accepted.
God, just the thing for you. But I know that you've always been super interested in cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm also a bit of a gearhead.
Yeah, gearhead. What does that mean?
Just like car guy.
Car guy?
You know. Car guy.
Does
Me and
does
Eric,
Gear-
former guest.
Yeah.
Eric.
Does Gearhead come from Top Gear?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
why?
I don't think so. I think it just comes from like just engines, probably.
Fair.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know the
That
etymology.
definitely makes sense. If you love cars, then planes is
It all kind
pretty
of
similar.
yeah. Just like machines
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
You're like, how do these things go?
stuff that goes.
You gotta have that curiosity to be an engineer.
Pretty
definitely.
much,
for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, that's a lot of what I like is like the problem solving sort of thing, because I think it's interesting. Because I think in engineering and in that sort of field, what I've found is that it's kind of very connected to creative stuff. I think in a way, because like it's not. I find it's not like math where there is one solution and if
Yeah.
you get anything else, you're wrong. Like in engineering, there's like 1,000 right ways to do something, but there's just as many wrong ways, and it's just about like I don't know how to put it, like picking the right way to do it.
That sounds like that could be a super fulfilling career because you're always
Yeah.
solving something. You always have to improve.
You always have another goal down
Yes,
the road.
exactly.
You know, and that's kind of something that I want. Is I never want to get to a place where I'm like stopped.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's the exact same place that I'm in. I never want to stop.
Right.
So.
Versus if you're working an
I
office
agree.
job on a computer or something like that, you're just gonna be paid for showing up.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
like
finished the
finding
report for the
things to do
quarter.
with your time rather than like having
Something
Yeah.
to
Exactly.
do,
concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and try to maximize how much you can get done on your engineering project.
Yeah,
So-
you know.
Were you in like robotics at all
No.
at the high school?
No, I didn't do robotics.
But you would have been tough at that.
Yeah.
You know you would have.
I
Yeah.
probably would have. But
Maybe you were the missing link on the team.
Were you not because of the stigma?
low key, partially, like dead ass.
You're like, I'm not that much of a nerd.
I'm
sorry."
not. But also, I just did a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
nah,
that,
you were
like,
busy.
I
of
did
course.
a bunch of other stuff. I did, decade debate journalism, all kinds of shit like that. Which I think is weird. That like I reflected on that a little bit when I was doing my college apps because I was applying. I was like, damn, I'm applying to all these engineering schools, and I literally like, other than a couple classes I took, I have no engineering extracurriculars. Like all of my extracurriculars were like humanities related. Like I did DECA, I did business with you guys, I did
Yeah.
debate, which is debate, and
That's
then I
tough,
was
bro.
like
I
the
wish I
editor in
did
chief of the
debate.
school newspaper. Like none of those are connected to engineering in any way. Like
I think they just make you more well-rounded.
Yeah.
As like
well-
as like a public speaker, as a writer,
Yeah,
as like
most
as
definitely.
a business person, you know. And I
Yeah.
think like
yeah, well, that's something that I'm also interested in. Is like I think I want to do. I'm thinking about taking a minor in like business or something like that because I do
Yeah,
want
for
to end
sure.
up like the path that I see for myself is like being an engineer for a while and just like as my career goes on slowly transitioning to like the business, the management side of
Yeah.
it with the base of knowledge from actually doing the work
Yeah.
for years.
I think that's a fucking
It's-
great
so,
plan.
yeah, it's a great one.
We'll
yeah.
see if it happens, but I mean, also a lot of it is I am just genuinely interested in like writing. I love writing. I love, all the
Journalism and
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
I think you're really
just am
impressive
fascinated by it.
because most kids our age, they're going to college and that's all they know. You know, they're going to college.
Right.
They aren't thinking
They
of
go
the
in
future at all.
undeclared even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
going
Yeah.
undeclared. It seems like you have a pretty concrete plan of what you want to accomplish.
I've been making this plan up while we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Deadass.
The art of bullshit.
Yes, that's what debate teaches you.
For sure.
Bro,
But
it
I
literally
also
teaches you making
Bro,
shit
if
up
you just made it up on the
convincingly.
fly, you've at least probably had some of
Some
those
thoughts,
thoughts
yeah.
float
Yeah.
around.
Floating
what you
around.
thought
I never
about,
put
you
it
know what I mean?
down before.
But
at least.
still, yeah.
Nah, but
that
this
sounds
is
great.
why we came on this pod, for you to actually materialize exactly what
Yes,
you had in your
sir.
mind,
You
and
like
now
that.
it's now
Totally.
it's into the
You
air.
like that, bro?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
That's
smart.
tough.
That's
Now I gotta follow through on it because I can't just
I think I think
lie
you
on the
will.
camera here.
And
Well,
I mean,
no, but that's like what you want. So
yeah, and I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Like, I also went to University of Maryland. I studied journalism.
Big Turk family.
Ended up getting a double major in French.
Oh, it was a
and-
double major?
Well, yeah, because I went abroad for a semester, and my abroad program was entirely French intensive. So like we were taking classes in French at a French university. Our program was taught in French.
damn.
Wow.
Yeah, which it was super cool.
It was a
Tough?
great experience.
It was pretty tough at first, but like I had taken French from like second grade. As you know, they like prompt you to pick a
Yeah.
language in like second
Yeah.
grade, which is
Then
crazy.
you're on rails, and then that's it.
And then yeah, I took French all throughout high school. Took AP, and then I was gonna minor in it in school because coming out of high school, journalism and French were like the two subjects I loved. I was like, I love this language. I love writing.
Mhm.
Let's see what these do for me. And
That's so cool because I feel like French is like a in my mind it's like a it connects to art in a way. It's like
Yeah,
It's like a
romantic-
beautiful language.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, no, that's
It's
that's
the
super
language
valid.
of romance,
Yeah,
right?
like
Yeah.
high key though. That shit's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool, and I mean I still use it a little bit to this day because through my program we had language partners. Like
Yeah.
each of us in the program had someone that was living in Nice that was like fluent in French, even if they weren't from France. And my language partner is still like a close friend of mine. He's this dude that lives in Bologna, Italy, and is an interpreter. So like he just recently went to Dior and was an interpreter,
Oh, that's
like
so
from
fire.
Italian to French. Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I practice with him sometimes, but
Yeah, my older brother actually, he went to he speaks French. He went to Phillips Exeter Academy and then studied French since second grade or whatever. Yeah, and went to France and stuff, and still speaks fluent French. So
yeah, just being immersed there like is the best way to do it. And so, oh yeah, what I was saying, the main point I was saying was that I went to school, I had these things in mind, but then my junior year I took a photojournalism class, and I fell in love with the photography aspect. And then the semester after went abroad and was just taking photos everywhere I went. And that's kind of when I started diverting from like strict journalism industry and like
Towards
French
art.
industry towards art. Because I was just like, I found the art form of journalism and or like a visual journalism, which was my path. And so I was just like falling in love with photography and also started producing music around the same time. And that's kind of when I knew, like by the time I graduated, I was like, I'm either going to live in LA or New York because these are the hubs of art and
art,
all of these
yeah.
creative mediums.
Yeah.
But I mean, journalism and French have given me great language and writing skills, like as a base regardless. But that's all to say, you never know
Yeah.
what college
Yeah, yeah.
will give you and how you might pivot. But I do think like you have that innate love for aviation and
You're right.
machinery, and like having a business acumen will definitely like
oh, 100%.
But I also like you having done broadcast. I really want to also do some form of like broadcast shit, like or this or something like that.
I remember.
Like,
I remember you telling me about this a long time ago. I completely forgot.
he had a radio show.
Oh yeah, so I had
What?
Technically
yeah,
foul.
I
in
had some
Maryland.
radio shows on campus. There was one called Technically Foul.
You had
which-
others?
Maybe I had like one other
Late night?
offshoot, but yeah, late night. Technically
Is
Foul.
that where things are freaky?
You can't find those have been scrubbed from the internet. Nah, I never did anything like that. But Technically Foul was this sports show that I had with my freshman year roommate, and then we did a bunch of episodes throughout freshman year because campus had like its own little radio station, so we'd just broadcast that out on a frequency to anyone around campus that wanted to listen. Then I started doing it solo, but yeah, that was like my foray into like doing radio shows,
That's
because
sick.
at the time I was really interested in sports journalism, and then kind of just drifted off into more like, okay, focusing on the broadcast, which was like all news oriented. But at a certain point, like I could tell that the program was really trying to corral you into like working for a news station in like some way, shape, or form. And I was just like, broadcast news is dead. Like the median age for people that watch Fox News, for example, is 68 years old.
Oh my god.
That's the middle age.
You know what?
So like no one, yeah, like we.
Yeah.
Do any of y'all watch the news?
If it's on, maybe I'll watch for
Yeah.
5
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly. But
If it's on with my
my
dad when I get
parents will
home, I'll, like,
sometimes
sit
put it
there.
on, and I'll like see it that
Catch
it's
a
on.
story.
And
You've
I'm
never put it on yourself.
No, I've never put it on myself.
Yeah. Well, it's because like we get condensed news through social media,
TikTok.
or it's like I'll read an article. You know,
Yes,
because I
yeah.
don't necessarily want to watch whatever X person has to say because maybe I don't like the tone that they're using. You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
just like a lot of like.
My receptors are low-key fried.
Yeah, that too. I'm just like I don't have the attention span for
Once you get to 31 seconds of a bit, you're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just like too much
Put
subjectivity
Subway
with
Surfers
it.
on the TV.
Yeah, if they had Subway Surfers on the
ABC
bottom,
News
I'd be into
split
that.
screens.
Literally. But yeah, so I just from there I was like, okay, I don't really want to work like in broadcast news.
Dead end.
So like photojournalism was a cool class that kind of brought me into the more art side of things because like my teacher was the media director for Lockheed Martin.
Oh,
Damn,
really?
Really?
Yeah,
Holy
super cool
shit.
dude. Yeah, and he just like he taught it from a very objective point of view. He was like, yeah, I want you to use this class to like tell stories through like a photographic lens, but it wasn't like you need to go photograph some news story. It was like I was learning how to shoot motion blur, which is just like, you know, everything in the background is blurry except the subject. And I did that because like I found this kid trying to land a stair set, like skating on campus,
yeah.
and I just like practiced motion blur with him. My
Oh, that's
teacher was
sick.
like, yeah, that's dope. Like, what's the story? And I just like explained. That was it.
So that's sick.
Yeah. So
Oh,
like
shit.
it, that whole art side of things, I feel like gives you a lot of flexibility rather than just like what broadcast news gives you.
Yeah.
Especially because it felt so stale. You know, like I think there are ways to use journalism and like broadcast creatively. Like for example, what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Like it's a form of journalism, and it's with the times.
Yeah.
Like people love podcasts because you can, and you have it on so many different platforms and like
different ways to consume.
yeah, wavelengths essentially of like, okay, I can follow you on IG, which is how I found y'all. I admittedly still haven't listened to a full ep on
Bro,
Spotify.
most people haven't even watched
We have,
it.
we,
yeah.
have, we have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify.
Yeah, smart. You have every different length, every different type of
Right.
format.
And you have Eddie's Twitter.
Yeah, mine's
Oh,
really-
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta find the Twitter. That's probably the rawest shit.
Eddie's Twitter is profound as hell. I love the reels you post. It's just you typing out a tweet, like a screen recording
Bro, I'm
of you
telling you,
typing
that
a tweet.
format's gonna catch on because
It's fire.
I've seen a few entrepreneurs, like particularly Alex Hermosi. You guys ever seen him?
No.
He's a
I've
big
heard
sales
of
guy.
it.
I'm actually
I've heard
surprised.
you talk about
But
it. Okay.
big sales guy, and he posts like his tweets. It'll be like some like profound like philosophical thing. I'm like, all right, that's like an easy way to get content out like that.
Mm-hmm.
I started just posting screenshots of my tweets, but then I'm like, wait, I can make an Instagram reel, and like,
Yeah.
if I could somehow like have a solid hook in the beginning, people are gonna have to drag out for the entire time.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell is he gonna say? Right?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of double dip that way. Because you get the tweet, and then you get also the like the secondary of the reel.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Being up there.
Yeah.
So you get like a 2-for-1 with that.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually smart
most
shit.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it brings people to your Twitter. They're like,
Yeah.
what else does he have to say?
Then they see
Yeah.
the link in the Twitter bio. It's a rogue
No,
routes.
it's all full circle. Smart.
So when he was talking about Phillips Exeter Academy, I don't know why this is. Well, I actually do know why, but so Phillips Exeter, it's like there's a lot of like when people go there, they compare themselves with like smarter individuals,
Right.
like people like from other places, and they end up like elevating themselves. So when you went to Los Angeles, would you say,
Like your environment.
yeah,
helped
like
it
the
a
group you
lot.
compare yourself with, like has like changed you in a good way?
Yeah, it was interesting because when I first got there, even moving there from, so I was living in Maryland until August of 2020, came home for a month, was like, I just need my own space, I gotta go. And I think even moving there, I had this stigma that like LA was going to feel so Hollywood. And, you know, because I moved there like pretty early in COVID, I wasn't meeting a ton of people. And so like I would go out to these events that I found or heard about, and like, yeah, I was meeting a lot of people where I was like, this feels somewhat falsified, or like these people are only like talking with me from like a transactional point of view. but I think it's like anywhere, you just need to find your people. And when I found that group of, when I just found people that I was really resonating with, like for example, the underground like warehouse show scene, where there's a lot of house music, techno, like that's when I found some.
My friend Zach, he's fucking.
I'll talk to him about it for sure. Yeah, I just found like the most genuine people there because people weren't there to like be seen.
Yeah.
They were there because like the music is tight,
They wanna
you can
rock
party
with
till
you, yeah.
sunrise, and like it was just, I coincidentally the first show I ever went to, like May of 2021, met a dude from Gloucester.
Really?
No way.
Yeah,
God.
so randomly, because I like complimented his friend's jacket that said like King Power, and so we started talking. He was
Sick.
like, yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh. I went to Berkeley, like College of Music.
Yeah.
And then
In Boston.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, like I'm by Berkeley all the time. I go to Bodega, and he was like, wait, what town are you from? And then he was like, yo, you got to meet my boy Frankie, and Frank's from Gloucester, and
Frankie, the most Gloucester
Frank, literally Frank Radosha.
Frankie.
Shout out to Fine Feather. Find him on Spotify everywhere. Super cool DJ, super cool guy.
One of my dad's best friends is named Frankie, and he owns 6 strip clubs in Boston.
Elite.
That's fucking sick.
Frankie the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I guess I definitely at times still even feel like that comparison where I'm like, I step out and want to, I don't know, sometimes I get caught up in wanting to be seen at the same time. Not like I'm trying to be anyone that I'm not, but definitely like I hold myself to a high standard there
Yeah.
because I know there's just, that's like the nature of LA is like, granted there's a lot of networking, but a lot of people are like looking you up and down all the time.
Analyzing you.
Yeah, literally. So I like, try not to think about that, but I also just like want to present myself in a way that if someone does that, they're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's also genuine
Which
to
is
me.
personal
at the same
brand.
time.
I think
Yeah.
in LA that's the biggest thing. Like that's what makes LA LA. Everyone has their own personal brand.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
what about like financially? Because like obviously living in Los Angeles is a pretty expensive place to live.
Yeah.
Would you say like everyone there kind of needs to lock in to be able to like stay living there?
Yeah, the interesting thing about LA is like I moved there without a job.
Yeah.
So I had money saved. I road tripped out there, and
You dead just rented a U-Haul and drove there.
yeah, I put a U-Haul hitch on the back of my
Camry.
dad's Toyota Camry and hauled out there
Or is it fucking
essentially.
reball?
Yeah, said fuck
And
it,
he
we balled.
balled.
Got half my shit stolen in
Kansas
Kansas
City,
City.
What?
Yep, someone broke into my U-Haul, like snapped the padlock, took like all of
Random
my,
stuff.
took like most of my material possessions except like my record collection.
Shit.
It was
so
a
yeah-
sign.
Yeah, that was intense. But yeah, then I moved out there and wait, what were you? You said like personal brand.
You gotta lock in.
Financially,
You gotta lock
financially.
in.
Yes, locking in. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I took some time to like kind of just enjoy where I was and go to the beach every day and like just lay there and think about like what I wanted to do and like kind of strategize where I was going. And I got that real estate photography job, which was nice, and then supplemented my income with elementary school tutoring.
Nice.
And then, yeah, those two things really helped me, especially elementary school tutoring, because I found a gig that was me essentially homeschooling these two girls, getting paid great money, way better than
Really?
real estate photography. Yeah, really good money. Tutoring, you can like, I mean, it's subjective. You can charge whatever you want, but I was like, yeah, I was making like $40 an hour
Damn.
to do that, like 5 hours a day, 4 times a week.
That's crazy.
Really,
That's great,
really
yeah.
nice. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of locking in, I think they're definitely like, you need to have a hustle mentality going into it because it's not the easiest. But I prefed LA to New York because I figured it would be a little bit easier to like scrounge around and find hustles. And as far as space goes, like you probably, for the price you pay, you probably get like 40% more space in LA than New York,
Yeah.
apartment wise, and
yeah.
like
Definitely.
So
For
what
sure.
you said about the environment at Phillips Exeter kind of put a question in my mind to you. So in the same way that Eamon, you kind of talked about like Phillips Exeter, like the environment pushing everyone to be more like academically locked in and successful. How would you say LA has pushed you? Would you say it's pushed you to be more creative? Like, is the environment of
question.
Los Angeles conducive to creativity?
Absolutely, because there's so many artists out there. Like every musician at a certain point of success, I think every musician has
Ends
some
up
sort
in
of
LA.
residence out there or spends time out there because everybody's out there. It's just like you know, the weather's beautiful all the time. You can create anything on any given day. It's not like you have to worry about seasons. But to that point, coming from the East Coast where there are seasons and time feels finite, you know, it's like if you want to shoot a video in the summer, you can only do that
2
from
months.
like June to August on the East Coast. So I try to think about that when I'm in LA creating. I'm like, okay, if I release this song that feels like a summer song, I need to release it in the summer.
Out east.
Yeah, like out east, because like it's only going to hit everywhere else for these couple months, whereas like LA kind of feels like summer all the time.
Yeah.
You know, which is like what I think there can be a complacency about people that like are from LA, is like they don't have like the time is money aspect that like East Coasters have. You know, like we're hardened by weather.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're like we really
100%.
yeah
We're
we
weather
have
beat.
to
You ever
get
seen
this
an
shit
old
done.
guy from out here?
Yeah, I've seen a few from out here. Yeah, I think just like that East Coast drive, and I talk to a lot of friends that like live in LA or are from LA about that too. They're like, yeah, a lot of my friends who work the hardest or like move the quickest are from the East Coast, and so I think that's helped, at least right now, has really helped me be like, yeah, I need to work on this music as efficiently as possible, and like
It gives you a sense of urgency.
for sure, and get this out, and yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, it's really fun.
That's it.
Should we? How long do you think?
Oh, I'll keep going.
37
We can
minutes.
keep going.
I don't know. Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah.
Um,
With,
Clear schedule.
with making music, I always just found that to be one of like the most like intimate ways to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Express yourself. Yes.
Intimate's a good way of putting it, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, because especially lately, like, I've been pulling from recent experiences, and I think that's made my music really strong.
Mhm.
Just like things I feel really, you know,
Deep about,
emotionally fervent about. Yeah, so that's made my music feel really good. I also like taking a little bit of mushrooms, like a microdose,
Yeah.
before singing. Yeah, I feel really locked in vocally when I do that.
It makes you mad creative.
It does, dude. It like, I just feel like it removes inhibitions from
Yeah.
you, especially when singing.
Ego too and stuff like
Yeah, definitely. Like, and even if I'm not making music, a microdose can help me like solve problems logically in a way that I wouldn't even think about sober, high, drunk, etc.
Would you say psychedelics are pretty popular around the LA community?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think psychedelics and music are super conducive, as you
That
can
makes sense.
probably know. Like,
Makes
you know, the Beatles, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is LSD.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they, you know,
The
or
Dead.
the Dead for sure. So I think music and psychedelics are go pretty hand in hand.
Yeah, that
For
makes
sure.
sense.
Yeah.
I've seen so many videos on the internet. I think it's about salvia. You ever heard about salvia?
Yeah.
I heard
Salvia
something.
can mess people
I have
up.
no idea what this is.
Oh my gosh!
It's
me
like
to
some
this.
Okay, so I
crazy
saw a video where this guy was talking about where his friend took salvia, or the guy was talking about how he took salvia. He said he took it, he's chilling, and all of a sudden he's a little sapling in the forest, and then he feels like he's watching his entire it's like 20 years of himself slowly growing into a tree. It's like just seeing everything, his environment change. Like he's like that fucking tree, and then he just woke up. And it felt like it was like 20 years.
But it was
But
like
it's like
15
5 minutes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No.
Similar with DMT is
That's
what I've
fun.
heard, but
Yeah.
DMT is a little less. Yeah, I think it's a little less pictorial.
That's for the
Like
Joe
you
Rogan
just kind
show.
of, you just like sense like colors and shapes,
Mhm.
and like just like innate feelings. Because DMT is released when you die.
I've
Like
actually
that's
heard
the,
that.
yeah, that's the chemical that releases in your brain when you die.
Oh.
So it's like same type of thing where it's
So when people say life flashes before your eyes,
literally,
maybe it's
like,
just, probably
does.
just DMT.
You just get
In
blasted
essence,
on
yeah.
DMT right before you die.
well, it probably like helps the pain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never taken DMT. I have friends that have.
I've never
so
died.
like I have secondhand experience hearing about it, but
They say it's crazy.
yeah, they said it's crazy. One of my friends, he likened a breakup to like the way he felt after this breakup was how he felt when crying on DMT. Like
What?
weight completely lifted, like just so like physically relieved and in tune with self. It was pretty crazy.
And it's a big thing in meditation, kind of stripping the ego away and just being able to see yourself from the outside perspective.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Psilocybin in mushrooms does a
Does
similar
that,
thing,
yeah.
for sure.
I know you do a lot of meditation, right?
I do a lot of meditation, yeah.
Talk about that.
So I lately I haven't been doing it as much, but I try to get at least 10 to 30 minutes each day. And typically it'll be like I like to go out into nature and focus on something like hearing the birds chirping. Notice my thoughts appearing in my consciousness and still trying to just refocus to something else. And it's something that really allows me to like relieves me a lot of anxiety, because when I'm just thinking 24/7, my thoughts obviously change my emotions, they change how I think,
Right.
they change what pressures me. So me being able to take a moment for meditation allows me to refocus and say, oh, I'm gonna do this now. Or perhaps I meditate and then I'm going on through my day, and a thought that appears in my consciousness that I actually notice is something that I've been struggling with. And the act of noticing your thoughts and not just letting your brain just like spit fucking
Dismiss it.
information at you 24/7,
Yeah.
I think is something that everyone should do. Just giving yourself a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming on the
Thank you so
podcast,
much for
Charlie.
having us,
Thank
bro.
you.
Charlie Hesh,
Pleasure.
aka Connor.
Bro.
All right. Subscribe and use code Rogue15 at checkout for a sports sleep tape.
You gotta
Yeah,
promote the
yes, sir.
gallery, Connor.
And
Oh yeah,
promote the gallery.
Preserves Gallery is my newest venture. Growing it. You know, if you have any art that you want to submit towards me, at Preserves Gallery on Instagram. Hesh Pierre is my name on Spotify.
Let's go.
So new
Yeah.
single June 17th. Check it out.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go.
Thank you, boys.
No
Thanks,
problem.
guys.